Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have with us Edna Keep. Edna is a former certified financial planner who discovered the power of real estate in 2007. Since then, Edna and her husband Warren have amassed a $65 million real estate portfolio primarily in multifamily. And since 2014, she has been training and coaching real estate entrepreneurs who want to scale their real estate business into multifamily with investor capital, otherwise known as other people's money, OPM. So Edna, thank you very much for hopping on the show today. How are you?
I'm doing great, Gabe. How are you? And it's my absolute pleasure.
Great. I'm doing great as well. At the Real Estate Investing Club, we like stories. So I always ask guests to start us off with a story. So why don't you take us back to the beginning of your story? How did you get started in real estate?
As a financial advisor, I was selling mutual funds and life insurance. And I found that my income would always go down when the market went down. We would try to get people to buy when the market was low, but it just didn't happen. And so I just started looking and listening actually to clients of mine on other ways they were making money in their investments. And real estate kept coming up again and again. So I went to a weekend class, and that's when we were really introduced to the power of real estate. We had no idea before that, other than you shouldn't pay rent, you should buy your own house. That was the only thing before. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I have to make some.
Nope. And Edna is just, we're all here in the COVID time. So we're working from home, and Edna is no different. It sounds like she's just taking care of something here. I'm just going to fill the air while Edna is back.
Thanks, Gabe. One of my daughters has 2 birds, and they're usually really quiet, but for some reason they started beaking off their
They want to be on the podcast. I get
They
it.
probably hear me talking, right? Anyway, so all she had to do was close her door. But anyway, we were introduced to the power of real estate. And, Gabe, once I understood that, I couldn't even sell mutual funds anymore. So 2 years later, in 2009, I sold my financial planning practice and went into real estate full time. We had built our cash flow up to $5,000 a month, and we owned 50 doors within our first 18 months of starting. So I really knew we had something there, and I could see the real wealth building opportunities. And it was just exciting and new. I'd been in financial advisory business for 15 years, and it was time to move on and do something different.
Nice. I love it. So you were in financial planning. You kind of heard from here and there, these different clients. Real estate's the way to go. It's a great way to create wealth for you and your family. You jumped in 2009, took that course, and it sounds like multifamily. Was that your first foray into real estate, or were you into the single family?
We started with single. Gabe,
Okay.
Everybody, it seemed that was what we were taught. Most people, that's what they teach out there. And, I think I just had that in my mindset too. I still remember we bought a 24 unit right at the tail end of that 18 months. And that's what got us to the 50 doors.
Oh,
And I
wow.
still remember sitting in front of a realtor saying, yeah, we want to buy 20 houses or duplexes this year because we'd moved on to duplexes. He said, Edna, why don't you just buy an apartment building? Oh, I'm not ready yet. I don't even own enough houses. And he said, no, you don't have to own a whole bunch of houses to get into multi. You just have to understand it. And I said, well, that's interesting. What do you got? So he told me he had a 24 unit for sale. And he said it hadn't even hit MLS yet. He said, I'm just writing up the paperwork. He says, why don't you consider it? And I said, so I got him to explain it to me. And before he left his office, I had an offer written up for full asking price. Because at that time it was 75,000 a door in our area. And now maybe it's fluctuated between 1 and 125. And so I could see he really kind of opened my eyes to it. And then I learned everything else from there.
Nice. I love it. And yeah, it's funny. You really just have to have one person to kind of tell you the benefits of a certain asset class. I'm in mobile home RV parks. I knew nothing about that besides staying in an RV park back in the day until somebody came along. They said, look at, these are the benefits of this asset class. Jump in. You're ready. You can do this. So it sounds like you had that same experience with multifamily. Since then, I mean, 65 million, you've had quite a journey from that 24 unit to where you are now.
Yeah.
Has it all been up there in Canada, or are you guys
Mostly, although right now we're focusing in Memphis, Tennessee, and we bought 80
good?
doors in the spring and we have 178 under contract right now.
Oh, wow. That is great. In
Mhm.
Memphis is a beautiful area for sure.
Yeah, and really, like we're focusing on workforce housing there, and some really great opportunities. Like we paid 21,600 a door for those 178 units, and we'll probably put in maybe 16,000 a door, but the after repair value and market, because it was quite vacant, 55 to 60 a door.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. I love it. So, we all know that real estate starts with the funnel. It starts with actually bringing leads into the business. It sounds like you're no slouch when it comes to marketing. So, what is your guys' most effective method of actually bringing leads into your business?
I found for us personally, we got known as people who were buying, and we started just getting presented with all kinds of deals that like even more than we could handle, which is one of the reasons I got involved with other people is so I could share, because I was getting such great deals and we just couldn't handle everything ourselves. So the referral, but in that referral, it comes from networking. So I still find to this day the absolute best way, every single one of my partners that I have, because we don't do any self-management, are people I met either in our training, our original training, or in networking events or Zoom networking, different networking like this.
Nice. I love it. And I mean, you're known as the OPM queen, so it would be remiss if I didn't ask about that. One of the roadblocks that most investors run into when they really start to, grow their portfolio, they had a few doors, now they're looking to do multifamily, do self-storage, something like that. The big issue is that they run into a lack of capital. They've been using their money. Now they don't have enough money to actually take these bigger properties down. Other people's money is the way to go. What has been your experience, and how would you kind of outline that for somebody who hasn't had experience in raising capital yet?
Well, my background as a financial advisor, when I first started, we built so quickly and we're at the 50 doors within 18 months. People would ask me, Edna, how did you grow so fast? Like, how did that happen for you? And I realized because I was already really comfortable dealing with big, large amounts of money. I was making 250,000 a year as a financial advisor routinely. And I was used to talking about money, asking people about their goals around money. And so at first, when people started asking me, like, how could I do that? And I was thinking, well, you know what? I had 15 years of training working in the financial services industry. I don't know. And then I started to realize, you know what? I learned every single thing, Gabe, as I went along. I learned everything I learned. And I thought, I can teach these people what works in real estate, because they didn't need to know the 15 years of stuff I learned through mutual fund advising, but the few key components. And it's what an investor is looking for when they're investing their money, how to talk to an investor, and then how to manage the relationship long term. And those were the really three key things that I was able to start sharing with people. You know, a lot of people think, because you know yourself, the numbers in real estate can get really high. When we look at mortgage pay down, cash flow, forced depreciation, just regular inflation, like the numbers lots of times when we're looking, like our buildings are earning 40, 50% a year. But if you start talking to somebody about that, you're going to blow them out of the water, and they're going to automatically think high risk, high risk. I can't do that. It's high risk. So you really have to temper what you talk to people about. I mean, more sophisticated real estate investors, yes, but the average Joe who is our investor are not sophisticated when it comes to real estate. They're like I was 13 years ago. They know nothing. So we have to introduce them and teach them the value of real estate. But we can't, you know, talk those really high numbers. That's one thing. Another thing I find is, you know, people, when they're thinking of raising capital, it's like, oh, everyone out there has all the money and poor me, I need the money. And that's how they think. And I really focus on, no, you have the gold, you have the deal, you have the opportunity. All they got is money, you know, and having that mindset shift, and it takes a while to get there. That makes all the difference in the world. And my students that I work with, I work with them a lot on mindset, because I don't believe you can go from, you know, a single family home to a multi-millionaire real estate investor without working on your mindset. I just don't. It goes hand in hand together. I think every time you want to make a big jump in your career, new level, new devil, got to work on your mindset, you know. And as for you and I, right? Like, we're always working on our mindset, because that's what's going to take us to the next level.
Yep, absolutely. And mindset is so crucial, because if you don't have a mindset that allows you to think about larger units, larger properties, then even if an amazing deal fell flat in your lap, you're not going to see the opportunity. You're not going to see that it is a deal, and you're just going to pass on it. So you have to work on your mindset. You have to get yourself into the position to where you think that you can do, you know, what you really want to do, what your goals are.
Yeah.
And I like that you talked, I mean, when you're talking about raising money, you were talking about that you focus on what are the investors looking for. You know, they're looking for cash flow, they're looking for returns. And so you really got to put it in a way that they understand without scaring them with big numbers. So,
Yes. Yeah.
So what was, kind of take me back, what was your first big raise when it came to an acquisition?
Well, our first apartment building was a 24 unit. And you know what? Because it was very under rented compared to what the market was, we paid, what was that? What's 75,000 times 24? I don't even remember.
75 times 24. That would be
1.8.
There you go.
We raised half of that as private capital, because we could only get financing for 50%. So that was our first big raise.
Okay.
And then we went on, of course, to increase the rents and get it worth more. I mean, the rents were an average $425, and the market rents at that time were closer to $1,000. So that was our first big forced appreciation in the building. And then a second one after that was we bought 144 units in a small town in Saskatchewan. Wow. And we paid $40,000 a door. And again, it had been managed by a charity. It had been actually given to a charity, and the charity didn't want to manage it anymore. So we bought it, and we were able to force appreciation again, huge amount, because we gave like $100 increase across the board immediately, and renovated all the units. So within 30 months, and I raised $1.2 million for that one. And that's how I got my ownership of that building, because I was not the managing partner. I didn't find that deal. Somebody else in my very first training class, they found the deal, brought it to me and said, you know, Edna, we'd be willing to split this deal with you if you could raise the capital. And I raised all the capital on it, and ended up with 30% ownership. My managing partner has a 30% ownership, and then the investors were 40%, because we knew that we could have all their money paid back if it was just cash flow as is within 4.5 years. But we knew that with the forced appreciation and everything that we were planning on, that it could be sooner. 30 months, we had them paid out, fully paid out, and then cash flow it from there. So that was my second really, really big raise, and worked out very, very well for us.
Wow, I love it. And your main goal, your main role in that deal was raising the capital, was going out, finding the dollars in order to get it done.
Yeah, yeah. And I find that part easy.
Hmm.
And I think I'm very good at training people to change their mindset about finding that easy. You know what? Being the managing partner is the harder part. It
Sure.
absolutely is. My role's done up front. And for them, it's the hard part because they can't do it. But I'm done, and then they get to do the work for the next 5 and 10 years, and I just have to manage the relationships with the investors, right? Pretty easy.
Yep. So let's go into that. Let's go. I mean, you raise the money, you present the deal, the investor is excited about it, but the work doesn't end when they hand you the check. The work continues after that. So how do you go about managing investor relations? What is the key that you found in that area?
Well, one is to stay in constant contact, good, bad, and ugly. If it's in good times, people are, happy to hear from you that things are going well. But when in bad times, they need to hear from you. So they might
Mhm.
not be happy to hear from you when you're telling them, "Oh, our building just burnt down. That happened to us this summer," or there's a forest fire. That large unit says telling there's a forest fire in that area. They actually evacuated everybody out of the town. So they thought the whole town. So, you have to be in constant contact and let people know. And then it was a big relief after when our buildings went unscathed and, different stuff like that. But and letting them know still all the work that's involved too, because you know what, they're writing a check. That's pretty easy. And I mean, it's very much appreciated because they've worked hard for that money over the years. But that then they can sit back and they don't have to worry about going after the insurance company to get the whole claim paid out and worrying about the forest fires and getting all the people out and then getting them all back in after the fact. And they don't have to worry about increasing the rents and renovating the property, and that's ongoing. Like, that never goes away. Understanding what's happening with the market. So our job is to keep them informed and stay in touch with them and just manage that whole relationship over the whole period of time.
Perfect. I love it. And so the real key that I took away from everything there was keep communication open. Be as transparent, as communicative as you can. That's going to allay any fears that your investors have, and just really show them that you are doing the work. You are, you're following through on the promise that you made them when you first bought the property. So I
Yeah.
love hearing that. We've blown through our 20-minute mark, so I do have to push us into the quick question round.
Sure.
Are you ready for that?
I am ready.
All right. We always start with, what do we always start? Oh, yeah, books. I almost forgot my own script. We always start with books. So give me 2 book recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate.
So one of my favorite books from it's kind of fits in both those categories. It's a Robert Kiyosaki book called "Why Do A Students Work for B Students and C Students Work for the Government?" And I love the book so much because I was a C student and never throughout my life really understood my strength, because I believe being a C student is a strength because you're not drawn into all the detail and data and 90, who cares if you get 90% on a test or if you just get it, you know what I mean? Especially stuff that you're not interested in. So that book really wrapped my head around, that's a skill. That's a skill. And then you can take it from there and make it better. So I would say that's probably, it was a lot real estate related, even though it's kind of life related. And then one of my other favorite books, which is not real estate related, but also it's a kid's book called "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
I love that book, and I read it to my kids almost daily. They had it memorized. So I think that's something to always remind ourselves too. Oh, the places we can go if we just let ourselves do it, right?
Yep. And that's all. You're the first one to bring Dr. Seuss onto here, but I'm so glad you did, because you got to love Dr. Seuss. He's an OG when it comes to children's books.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. And this one is for your younger self. So if you could go back to the Edna who had no experience in real estate, she was still working as the financial planner. Go back to her, look her in the eye, give her one piece of advice moving forward.
Trust that everything has a way of working out for you, girl.
Mindset. I love it.
Mhm.
Trust that things will work out. Great piece of advice. All right, moving on. And this one is about habits. Habits are the foundation of our life. So if you could pinpoint one habit that you feel has contributed the most to your overall health, well-being, and success, what would that be?
Hiring a coach. I've had a coach, never been without a coach since 1999. I got my first coach when I was a financial advisor,
Wow.
and that is my catalyst for growth every single year. Who do I want to learn from this year? And it's always got to be somebody who's been there, done that, what I'm trying to learn, not just paying it lip service, but actually have done it. Because I don't think you can really teach it if you haven't done it yourself.
Yep, 100% agree with that one. So hire a coach. All right, and this is the next question is about location. You know, the world's a huge place. There's plenty of places to buy real estate. What area, I think you already mentioned this one, but I'm going to ask it anyways. What area are you most excited about investing in?
Right now, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, a big need for workforce housing, and we have 178 units under there. I always tell people, you know what, in a lot of areas, you cannot buy a parking space for what we're buying units for there.
I love it. All right, and that wraps it up. So we go to the last question. You've given us a lot of good wisdom about raising capital, about starting out in real estate. So I'm sure people want to reach out to you. What is the best way for them to do that?
Best way to find me is I'm on Facebook, Coach Edna Keep, or my email address is edna@ednakeep.com. And my website is ednakeep.com. And all three of those places are easy to find.
Perfect. And I will put that URL in the show notes. So if you guys see the little more in the description, click that bad boy. It'll pull down the full description. And in there, you can find Edna's URL. Click through, say hi to her. So Edna, thank you very much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Gabe. You were a terrific host. It was easy to talk to you.
All right. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason that we do this. So we appreciate having you here. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me, therealestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the ebook bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.